Hello and welcome to QTV. Today's subject is crime and violence. We are going to talk to people who had experienced violence in different ways. Our first guest in the studio is Kip, who has been in a violent relationship. And welcome to you, Kip. Have a seat.
Thank you.
Kip has been in jail. He was sentenced for beating his wife. But Kip, how come can this happen?
Well, I have a violent behavior because of violence in my childhood, and when my wife and I had an argument, I didn't know how to get out with my frustrations and my anger, and that resulted in the hitting. And I first realized that I hurt her when her screams was eating me up from the inside.
I can feel that this is very hard for you to talk about, so we will turn to the audience where we have Dr. Oprah Phil. Dr. Oprah Phil, why is something like this happening? Why can't he control his anger?
The silicone chip inside the cortical part of his brain has switched to overload, which causes disturbed thoughts and no control of anger and aggression. This does that the brain simply stops working when he's being very angry.
Thank you, Oprah. Now we'll turn to our new guest who has been a victim of a violent act. And welcome to you, Brenda. Have a seat. Thank you. Tell me, Brenda, what happened that night in the park?
Well, I was walking home from work 11 p.m. and I was walking through the park, and I walk this way every night, and I could hear footsteps behind me, and suddenly there was 3 big black men behind me, and they ambushed me.
And they raped you?
Yes, and I still have very bad nightmares about it.
But what happened afterwards?
The next thing I noticed was that I was at the hospital and a man had found me unconsciousness.
This is simply a horrible act, but how often does this really happen? We will ask Maria, a police officer we have in the audience. But Maria, how often does this really happen?
Indeed, it's a very horrible act, but unfortunately, it's happened really often, especially dark places like parks or alleys, and we have received numerous reports about girls who has been raped in those places. So, a good advice, keep away from them or be friends.
Thank you for your good advice, Maria. Luckily, the 3 guys who raped Brenda got caught with their pants down. But even though that the guys got 10 years in prison, Brenda is still afraid of walking alone. How can we help these women who have been raped and still afraid? We have an expert here. She's running a women's shelter. And welcome to you, Jenny.
I'm a shelter for women, and we have lots of girls and women who have been raped, beaten, etc. We helping them with their problem, talking with them, and giving them a place to stay. While we are talking with the police about the situation, they can also talk with the psychologist.
Thank you, Jenny. Well, that was it for today. Next week we are going to talk about silicone implants, so stay safe until then.